Well, hello there. Today my guest is a well-known author in the field of cooking, and she's a model, and she was in Masterchef USA Season 8. And now she's here in Sri Lanka to promote Sri Lankan cuisine while she does the same thing over in the United States and in other places around the world. Good evening, Jessica.
Good evening, Zulfick. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for joining
having
us.
me. Thank you.
So let's start off with your book, CEYLOVE, or CEYLOVE as it's called.
CEYLOVE, yes.
Jessica Heath. So Jessica, this book comprises of a number of Sri Lankan recipes, authentic Sri Lankan recipes. Why did you decide to compile this book?
I really decided to write this book essentially because I'm very proud of my culture. I'm half Sri Lankan, and I come from a great line of amazing cooks, and I've always been fascinated with Sri Lankan cuisine and the culture, and I've pretty much been documenting these recipes from a young age, a young girl, getting started in the kitchen with my grandmother. And I looked at all these recipes that I had been compiling, and I thought, this is a legacy right here. I would love to share this with the world.
You were in Masterchef USA. Now that's
Yes.
got to be a very tough competition. Now we watch it on TV.
No, it's very easy.
So seeing it on TV, it looks very easy, but tell us more about it. Like, how was it? Why did you decide to go into Masterchef?
Well, fortunately, Gordon Ramsay and the whole team decided to have a tryout in Washington, D.C. And I thought, what a great opportunity to showcase Sri Lankan cuisine on a global scale on this type of platform. And as we know, Sri Lankan cuisine has really not been in the forefront of what we see today. We see a lot of Latin cuisine, Indian, Chinese. And I really thought it needed to be given a name and a stamp on Masterchef, and I was there to do that. It's not easy. It was a very long, arduous process, about 4.5 months.
So how does it feel when you're competing against the best of the best?
Well, I feel extremely honored to be on this platform with renowned chefs all over the world, and I feel like there's a place for me to be here in this world, and I have a special delivery, I have my passion. I'm also half Sri Lankan, so I give that fusion aspect of it. I'm fusing Sri Lankan food with cuisines from all over the world. Latin cuisine, burger,
Everything Sri Lankan.
Everything Sri Lankan. I feel like I belong.
You're a chef, you're a model, and you're an
Yes.
author. How do you balance everything? How do you balance this life?
It's not easy, but somebody has to do it. You know what? The saying goes, it's not work if it's your passion. So I've really loved everything that I've done in my career. Modeling has afforded me the opportunity to meet extremely affluent people in the Washington, D.C. area. From there, that catapulted me to wanting me to write my own cookbook and having the knowledge of global cuisine from all of the traveling that I've done through modeling and things like that. So it just comes natural to me, I guess you could say.
So let's come to the most important question now. When we look at your Facebook page or your Instagram page, it's pol sambal and string hoppers.
Sure.
What is driving you to promote Sri Lankan food?
It's a deep love. It's the way that my parents raised me. Although my father is an American, he also embraced the Sri Lankan culture when he married my mother. My mother immigrated to Washington, D.C. in the 60s, along with her parents. And they always instilled the Sri Lankan values, although they were living in America. That was really the bread and butter, the glue that held the family together, and my mother essentially passed that down to me. And I'm so glad that she did, because in America, where everything is ever changing, I'm staying the same.
When you were a child, you would have had dreams of becoming a doctor or an engineer, or you could have become whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
But why choose cooking?
I really didn't choose cooking.
Okay.
I actually wanted to be a news broadcaster and a model, which I ended up doing. I've done a lot of TV work, obviously, but I never thought I'd be a chef. So it's really just about embracing your passion, your skill set, and this all sort of just came about. I wanted to just write a cookbook really for my family and myself, and it's just blown up into something else, and I'm really very grateful for that. I'm thankful to God for that.
What's in this? If I go through this book, what would I find?
Oh,
Is it going to be the usual Sri Lankan food, or is it something more extra special?
No, it's extra special. Each recipe has a preface of how the recipe came about, my experience in the kitchen, whether I was with my mother or grandmother. So there's always like a funny story or something interesting, and then the recipe. The pictures are phenomenal. They just light off the page. They just jump off the page, and it's really on a very professional level. I would put it on par with all of the books that you see around the world today, the famous cookbooks. What else is interesting about it is, although there are authentic Sri Lankan recipes in there, I've also done some really fun things like Sri Lankan pizza, Sri Lankan hummus, and easy things that is very adaptable to anyone that's single or married with kids. I thought about every demographic, really.
The whole picture.
The whole picture.
To those people who are aspiring and having dreams of coming up, you might have a story to tell. What would you tell them?
I would tell them never give up on your dreams. You know, I did not have everything handed easily to me. You know, I had a lot of naysayers. They actually laughed when I said I wanted to write a cookbook and fuse it with other cuisines, and I had this amazing idea of sharing Sri Lankan food all over the world, and I would be the spokesperson for that. And you know, little did they know that I was going to be on Masterchef and write a cookbook. And so I would tell everyone is to just follow your dreams and don't let anyone stop you, even if they're in your closest of circles. Just stay true to who you are, believe in yourself, have that passion, pray, be faithful. It will happen, and the doors will eventually open. You know, nobody can stop you from your dreams. As much as they try, they just can't.
Wonderful words there from Jessica Heath, who is not only now becoming an inspirational person, she's an author, she's a chef, and she's a model, and she was part of Masterchef USA. So thank you for joining us, and I leave you with a quote of my own. To be there and be the best, sweat is necessary, and effort is between you and yourself. Thank you.